woke up this morning and there was dense fog. It's kind of like, oh my gosh. So grabbed my gear and I went out to a couple of the local parks to photograph trees and fog. We don't always get a lot of fog here, and it's supposed to lift by midday. So I wanted to get out here and play around and show you why fog in the forest is a fabulous idea. Welcome back. So fog in the forest, you wouldn't think that you'd want to go out a lot in the fog because fog is really dense and it blocks views. But that's the thing you want when you're out photographing forests, because remember, we want to try and make that chaos organized, more simplified. Fog will help you do that. If you look across at the scene behind me, you're going to see, there's a dense wall of fog that helps obscure the big trees that are right behind the really cool moss-covered trees in the front. So the image I set up is these two trees right here, and just the moss-covered, and then the fog helps blanket the background so it's not as busy, so it really helps those moss-covered trees stand out and become the focus point of your image, which you want. You want to make sure that the focus point of your image is unobscured, it doesn't have anything behind it that's going to distract from the image, and fog really, really helps you do that. It's a pretty cool image. It's across a ravine. There's another little tree over here that I'm looking at. But the other thing with fog is, just like light, it comes and it goes, it comes and it goes. So as it's drifting through, sometimes it obscures what you want to photograph and keep in your subject matter. And then it's kind of like, well, what am I doing here? Sometimes that's cool, but not what I'm trying to get today. And I'm thinking it's clearing up just enough for me to get that other image over here. But yeah. Don't stay in bed when you find out it's foggy. This is a sweet little scene behind me. It's got this wonderful leading line of this trail going back into the woods, into the fog. And fog can give you a sense of atmosphere, a sense of mystery. So it's going back in there. And right at the end of what looks like the trail, what looks like the end of the trail, is a sweet little madrona tree. It's a wonderful little scene. I just love this. I'm letting the sky just really kind of blow out because I can really bring in the fog later on in Photoshop to help emphasize the brightness of the sky and the mystery of the scene. And it's at ISO 100 and it's an f8 because I will be able to get a lot of the depth of field. Everything should be in pretty good focus because I'm focusing way into the scene and it's going all the way back into that one tree, and now that is going to be in focus on an f8, and then so that takes me down to 0.4 seconds. So it'll be wonderful. I think it's going to be a great little scene. A really good contrast too between colors, because down on the trail is kind of the oranges and the warm colors of the leaves that have fallen. When you think of winter and fall, you don't really think of warmth, but really the tones of fall are really warm. So you've got this warm line leading into the coolness of the fog and the trees. I'm really thinking this is going to be a good photo. love this tree. This is my good old friend, the maple tree at Lindale Park, and it's just gorgeous. But sometimes it's just really hard to get something this big and really show its massiveness. It's immense, especially when it branches out like it does all over the place. You just really get a lot of the background noise going on. But with the fog, it can really subtly, dim down that chaos that's back there, that noise, all the distractions that your eyes can see, and you can really see the form of the tree. I wanted to get really low on this one because I wanted this root here, and then this kind of this nice sweep into the branches, and it's going up into the fog, and it's going to be really blown out up there. But again, I'm going to really like that blown out part. And yeah, love this tree. Love this tree. What I have in front of me is a scene with a lot of Douglas fir going straight up and down, and then one maple tree that kind of curves and branches off. It's really interesting. It's a nice contrast between the straight and the branching, and I think it's going to be a really cool image. What helps with the fog is that a lot of the trees, it just kind of diminishes into the background, into a little bit of a faded background. So you get these trees that are going straight up and down, and as they go back into the scene, they fade. And I think it's going to be, like I said, a really kind of cool image. And right now it's, I'm going to put it back on an f8, aperture f8, which will take me down to about a fifth of a second. So go ahead and get that, and I'll show you what it looks like on the screen. Well, that was a fun little adventure in a foggy forest. So the takeaways here are, if you wake up and you find that you've got a dense fog advisory, go find a local park that has a forest, because it helps the fog in the forest helps isolate your subject matter from the background, your busy background, which can cause chaos. A couple of things to be wary of is, even though you should always have something to clean your lens with, bring something to clean your lens, because fog, especially dense fog, can get moisture on your lens. You're going to have to clean it off. And then also, as you're packing up to go home, make sure you keep your camera bag sealed up, zipped up. There's a car driving by. Make sure you have your camera bag zipped up, and leave it zipped even as you get into the house, so it slowly warms up. If you open up your camera bag and start pulling out everything, you run the risk of getting condensation within your camera. So with that, if you like the content of the video, give it a like. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm really having fun with all the videos and going out in the forest. I've really embraced forest photography this year, since we've had to really minimize travel. And although I pretty much stay in my home state when I'm traveling, anyways. But go ahead and give my channel a subscribe. And until next time, bye.